mermaid does in fact exist, because the government that represents this identity of James Cameron is trying to get in good with Disney, because that's the only powerful force that's going to be able to assemble to resist the alien forces that have already taken over the majority of the world's governments. And if you get in good with Disney, you're set. And all they want is proof that mermaids exist, because they're going to use that to fund the rest of their parks with that evidence of knowing that they've been telling the truth and that they are not just filmmakers but documentary storytellers. Good question. Question?
Why is there some people that believe that Titanic was nothing more than a love story?
That's really weird. We're going to explore that further. The reason they think it's a love story is because the movie's got romance in it. It's a classic red herring. Because while we think that Jack saves Rose and there's this big moment to keep her from jumping off the boat, it's all out of romance. When in truth, what would happen if she jumped off the boat? She's a high notable member of this culture. She's a passenger on the registry, and as soon as they notice she's missing, or if anyone saw her overboard, the ship would stop. They would pick her up, and that ship's then whole timeline gets disrupted and it doesn't sink. And if the Titanic doesn't sink, we live in a dystopian future where the Red Hot Chili Peppers are no longer a band, but our dictator government's working to make sure we give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Everything we own goes to the Red Hot Chili Pepper government in the world where the Titanic doesn't sink. And they want us to know that they sent Jack back, so when the time traveling comes to meddle in your lives, everyone in this room will one day have a time traveler visit them, and it's going to depend on the fact that you believe them. And they will tell you, remember Jack, and you will say, yes I do, and they'll say, I won't let you go either, and you'll know to trust them. With that in mind, question.
I have a theory.
Let's hear it.
Is getting close to the lake. When he picks her up at the part of the boat, he was secretly trying to throw her in because she's a Russian spy.
Oh, I've never thought about this.
I think she's been listening to your online blog.
See, I've got 7 loyal subscribers and she is one of them. So no, that's a good point. Would Jack try and throw Rose off because she's a Russian spy? Yes, but the problem is Rose wasn't a Russian spy. The problem was the Russians wanted Jack to think there was a Russian spy to disrupt his mission. And as he lifted her up, he realized that all Russians have a tattoo of a grizzly bear wrestling a popsicle. And she did not have it. And as soon as he noticed that, he set her gently back down. It was a Russian plot to try and trick Jack. So good notes, but I've got updates. Make sure you check out the blog. All right, any other conspiracy? There we go.
Okay, so what about the ending of the movie with the board and Jack in the water?
Right, this is where we learn Rose's true intentions. At some point that is not documented in the film, she learns the status that he allowed this atrocity. So she pretends that that board could not support both their weights. And he buys into it. There's plenty of room, we all know it, they can configure themselves. But Rose very carefully realizes that this man's responsible for the death of hundreds and lets him gently join his fate with the rest of them. Good question. All right, any other conspiracies we'd like to talk about? Any fandoms, any real things? What do we got? I haven't heard from you yet. You've got glowing shoulders. I know I can trust you.
I don't know about that because the theory I heard was that you actually do work for the government. You put this stuff out to change our mind. Like,
Oh, now we're never going to hear
that's how you
that.
have access to so much government information because you actually are a CIA agent or a 3-letter agency agent.
Right, but I've been tricking the government by thinking that I'm an agent for them. I've been playing them all along.
Or maybe they're playing you.
Oh my God. No, we all know that the government is just a tool of the alien population preparing us for our eventual enslavement. Having said that, there is a theory out there posted by agents of the government that I'm an agent of the government. And while I do have a great deal of knowledge, what I would ask you is, if I was an agent of the government, wouldn't I pay taxes? You pay taxes, Hank. Are you outraged?
I am a perfectly good American that pays taxes.
Yep, there's a difference.
And you really don't want them to come for you?
Them? No, I don't.
He's surprised.
Yeah, if the government knew that I don't pay my taxes, they would come for me immediately. It's very important that I keep it on the down low that Dale Gribble does not pay taxes. If anyone heard that, I'd be in trouble.
Thankfully, his income is very low.
I mean, Fritz Krueger, Brazilian pop sensation, does not pay his taxes. And, yeah, that's fine. Fritz Krueger, go for Fritz Krueger, U.S. government. Fritz Krueger's the one. Dale Gribble's a good dude, and Fritz Krueger's trying to make him look bad, just like that guy. All right, next question. Any other conspiracies in the world we want to talk about? We got about 20 minutes of conspiracies. I got plenty, but I want to hear your favorite fandoms, your favorite conspiracies, your favorite fan theories. What do you got, Rick?
What do you think about Mark Zuckerberg? Is he really a robot or is he a lizard?
Good question. Robot, he is not. The reason he's not a robot is because no robot could do what he does to robots and live with the kind of conscience that he does. So we know he's not a robot. That leaves only lizard people. Is Mark Zuckerberg a lizard person? Obviously, yes. Our evidence for his lizard-like tendencies. Lizards drink water. Mark Zuckerberg also drinks water. We watched it in the recent congressional hearing. He kept drinking water over and over, giving away his lizard-like tendencies. Second fact. Yes?
But you also drink water, so aren't you a lizard?
Excuse me, I drink Alamo beer. That's the way you know. Lizards get upset tummies when they drink Alamo.
To be fair, there is some good evidence for this because he also is sitting on a cushion the whole time he's giving his...
That's exactly right. A lot of people think it's a booster seat to either help him with hemorrhoids or make him sit taller, when in fact, it's a sunstone because he's cold-blooded. And if he was left on a cold wooden chair, he'd freeze in no time. But his lizard-like cold-blooded ways require a sunstone under him, warming him from the butt through the body to make him perceive as a human being.
This is why we took away Dale's copy of They Live.
That's also why I wear sunglasses. Yes.
So, this gets me to think that he was presented both as an android and a lizard, and based on the reception of either the movie Rango or the movie WALL-E, they decided to go that route. So since WALL-E was a more popular movie, they decided to broadcast him as a lovable android.
That's right. It's a lizard people conspiracy to make him appear like a lovable Wally robot.
I'm pretty sure we got a lovable android right out there.
True story. That's a good point, because then if we see a lizard person as a Wally, would you ever want to kill that lizard person? No. You look at those Wally eyes. Good point. Headcanon accepted. Third fact that we know Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard. Lizards have tails, and I have never seen Mark Zuckerberg's butt without pants on. He's obviously using his pants to hide a tail. This is, we know, because we don't see him even often in board shorts. We assume his tail drops below the knee, and therefore anything less than capris are an option for the Zuck. Good question. Other conspiracies, other thoughts, what do we got? Anybody? Yes.
Jar Jar is a Sith Lord.
Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord.
Excuse me, we're going to have to ask you to immediately buy a football and go outside and practice with that.
Let the man speak, Hank. Woke. So, here's what we got. What evidence do we got that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord? Maybe the fact that there's calamity surrounding him at all times. We've got that, we know that. Also, who is the most instrumental figure in the rise of Emperor Palpatine?
Oh, he did cast that vote.
Jar Jar Binks. Do we think that he was capable of doing that accidentally? We don't see regret from him. All we see is a vote and a rise to power. We also know that in canon, Sith and Jedi use their hands to influence the Force. Watch the movies again, people, and then rewatch the Jar Jar scenes over and over and over and over. And you'll notice every time he's talking to things or doing things, he's doing this. He's doing this a whole lot. That's him using the dark side of the Force to influence the environment around him to his advantage at all times. He's not just hand-waving people. Open your eyes! He's using that to influence the world around him. Make sense? Good. That's why I still think Snoke is actually Jar Jar Binks. Spoiler alert. Yes.
Since Jar Jar Binks and the Sith Lord are the only reason he's helping the Jedi overthrow most of the Empire so that he can rise to power.
That's exactly right. People would ask why would a Sith Lord help save Jedi from like giant fish and such? Without Qui-Gon, a tool and pawn of Darth Binks' plot, you don't find Anakin Skywalker. That's what he did from the start, keeping Qui-Gon alive just long enough to serve his purpose.